everybody, it's Natalie D, and today is my birthday. And last year on my birthday, as turning 16 in 2015, it was time for me to get that driver's license. Hey. And I was super excited. I had gotten to sleep early so I could be super pumped. Did my makeup flawlessly so I could be looking good for that picture and pick the absolute cutest outfit. So once again, that picture would be on fleek. But getting the license was actually a lot harder than one would think. I started my adventure to get my driver's license at 7 a.m. Did not leave the DMV with my license until about 3:30. I know. This story is 100% true, and you cannot make up stuff this good. So, enjoy the story of how a year ago I decided, or I didn't decide, I needed to. I had to get my license. So, let's start. It's 7 o'clock a.m. My uncle comes to pick me up so we can go to the DMV in Metro because his car is a new car and his car is perfect, unlike my car who has a really faulty passenger side door. So he picks me up and since I'm trying to practice my driving, I drive all the way down to the DMV in Metro. When we get there, it's about like 7:15, 7:30. The DMV just opened up and I get to the desk, the check-in desk, and the lady goes through my papers and with the biggest attitude ever yells at me and says, "You do not have the proper forms. You need to go get your form." This woman did not have to yell at me. She just decided to start yelling and she just made me feel bad. So, sadly and a little bit angry because she gave me so much attitude, we decided to go get our forms and not go back to Metro because Metro is ratchet. So, we leave Metro. I'm still driving. And we try to go to my old school and get a school form because I just recently attended there. So, I try to go to my old school and get my school form. They are closed for the week because they're doing construction on the school. So I was really mad and distraught. I was like, what am I going to do? So trying to avoid all that and just think about something else. We go to Starbucks so I can get my free drink for my birthday. And it was a venti Oprah chai latte. So good. So I had a venti Oprah chai and chilled out a little bit. And I called the other DMV in Pearl to see if I really needed this school form. The lady answered the phone and said, "Yes, you do need a school form." But I said, "What if my school is closed for the week?" She said, "Well, you can just go down to the Department of Education downtown and just get it all sorted out." I was like, okay, cool. So I drive all the way downtown and see if I can get this school form. I drive down there to the Department of Education. They can't even help me. So that was a waste of an hour. But also, in addition to the school form, we're supposed to have this notarized form that you're supposed to keep from your permit. I didn't have that either. But my mom's office has a notary. So I just was like, "Mom, can I please use your notary to notarize this form?" And she said yes. So we drove on up to that office, got the form notarized. And then they said, "Well, you might need to also get a school form." So we go to my new school, which I hadn't attended in like 7, 8, maybe 9 years. So we go to my new school and we get my school form. It's all signed and notarized by the people who work there. So I just fill out my information and we drive on down to Pearl. Awesome. Well, when we get to this Pearl DMV, which is the greatest ever, it is 11:35. My uncle, who has been graciously riding around with me since about 7 a.m., has to go to work at 1:30, and his job is about 30 minutes away. Keep that in mind. It's about 11:30 when we get to the DMV, and I get my little ticket and sit down, and I hear one lady whisper to another, "Well, I don't think they do driver's tests between 12 and 1. After all of that, I get there and I can't even take the driver's test because it's 11:30. And they had just taken out the last people, and they were like, well, we had to wait. So 1 o'clock rolls around, and my uncle is staying to the last minute to try and see if he can help me take my driver's test in his car. So 1 o'clock rolls around, and my uncle has to leave because he has to go to work. It would be unfair for him to be late to work after I have driven him around, up and down, and all around town all day for him to stay there. So he leaves. But my dad is supposed to be helping us out all day, and up until now, he's been on the golf course. So I call my dad, and I'm like, Dad, Dante has to go to work, and you need to come help me. But actually, he has to take my sister to her camp and take her to and from another camp, and he's not there. Okay, so he drops her off, and I told him to call me when he's on the way. Well, he didn't call me, and like 30 minutes had passed, so he should have dropped her off by then. I call my dad and see where he is. He's at McDonald's. So nervously, I just hang up, and I'm like, okay, I'll see you soon. He's about 30 minutes away. So I was like, all right, see you soon, Dad. Meanwhile, while I am waiting for my dad and I get off the phone with him, they call my number. That's great. And nobody is there to help me, but the nice lady at the desk said, well, it's okay. I can just go through all your forms and we can wait for your driver to show up. About 20 minutes later, my dad shows up, and I'm super excited, but also nervous because I might have to drive the big Expedition. We had a Ford Expedition is what my dad drives sometimes, and that's what he was driving in that day. So I was going to have to drive that big car. I can drive it pretty well, but I just would not want to drive that big car for my driver's test. So my dad gets up there and presents his license and insurance, and the lady at the desk runs the license, and it's suspended. You cannot drive, well, at least where I live, you cannot drive with a suspended license. So the lady says, do you have another driver you could call? I was like, yes. I was about to call my friend who had just turned 17 and had his full license, in case my mom couldn't make it. My mom that day had to work and all day, and I had to call my mom, and I promised I would not disturb her after our little, we have to run to your office because we need a notary incident. Wasn't much of an incident, but we just had to, I promised not to bother her for the rest of the day. So we have to call my mom to come bring her car and her license and her insurance so I could take my driver's test. My mom drives my car, which has a faulty passenger door. Keep that little detail in mind for the end. So my mom comes and presents her license, and everything is fine and dandy. So I'm about to take my driver's test in my car with the faulty passenger door. I thought I was going to get one of the nice ladies who was sitting at the DMV desk, but turns out I actually get a state trooper. And this guy is tall, has the really good posture, and he's mean looking and wearing those sunglasses. I had not been so scared in my life. I thought I was just going to have a nice drive with one of the nice ladies from the DMV. I could not have been more wrong. So it's time for me to take the driver's test. We walk out to my car, and everything goes very well. I make a couple of turns in around the DMV, and I do just fabulously. It's safe driving, stopping at the stop signs, using my turning signal appropriately. And we get back to the station, and I park my car perfectly, as any person should. And my passenger door is faulty, so when it's time for us to get out of the car, the state trooper can't open the door. I freak out because, oh my gosh, he might fail me because my passenger door doesn't work. So I let him out of the car. I literally almost started crying because I was like, he's gonna fail me because my passenger door won't open. But he tells me I passed with flying colors, and at 3:21 p.m. Natalie Ford, receives her 16-year-old driver's license. I'm telling you, all that for a piece of plastic and the right to drive. You don't know how tired I was after all of that. I had driven all across town just to get one tiny piece of plastic. So much. And I want to extend a special thank you to my family who helped me get my driver's license, especially my uncle, who is the best uncle in the world because he decided to run around with me basically all day. And it was a great experience. Thank you, Dante. You're the coolest uncle ever. And thanks to my mom, who came in the perfect amount of time so I could drive. And thanks to all the people in my mom's office who helped me out with the notary situation. And especially thank you to Starbucks that gave me a free drink because I had not eaten all day. So I hope you enjoyed the story. I'll post the full text story in the description box. So remember to love yourself, enjoy your life, and this is Natalie D logging out. See you next time.